What's up guys, JC here with the very first video of the Minim OSD Micro playlist. I will be leaving a link to this playlist in the description below for the upcoming videos. In this video I am only showing you how to flash new firmware to it, which is the first step, but the next video will be how to actually wire this into your flight controller as well as camera and video transmitter, and then set everything up in Betaflight or CleanFlight. I will also add in videos on how to add this into a soft serial port instead of a UART, how to get RSSI into your on-screen display, and many more. So definitely look at that playlist. So to start, what do we need? Well, first we need a Minim OSD Micro. What I do is I get these off of Amazon. Just do a search for Minim OSD Micro and these will pop up. I just grab them here for 11 bucks. The other thing you need is this, the CP2102 serial converter or breakout board, whatever you want to call it. I also get these off of Amazon. If you search for CP2102 breakout, then a bunch of these pop up, but the specific one I will be using in this video and many other videos is this one right here. You can just do a search for this and you should find this black one right here. The next thing you need is the Arduino software. So if you go to arduino.cc and then click on this download tab and then look to the right side, you will find many different downloads depending on which computer you have. The next thing we need is, well, let me say you can put different firmware on the Minim OSD Micro, but the one that I prefer is the Minim OSD or MW OSD, and this is what I'll be using throughout this video series. And I will actually download this one, so we want to click on this zip folder right here and then download anyway. Now I have a folder that I've created for all of my multi-rotor stuff, and then inside of that folder I also made a folder called MWOSD, and I will save it to there. That way I know exactly where it's going. Once it's done, we will go back to that folder and we'll go back to my MWOSD folder. It is zipped. You need to unzip it, so right click, click extract all, and it's going to extract it into the same folder. So extract. After it has extracted, you can delete the download because we no longer need it, and there you go. Now let's talk about how to wire the Minim OSD Micro into the breakout board. Well, first on the breakout board, again, if you bought this specific one, look on the back side and you will see where it says 5 volt and 3V3, which is 3.3 volts. You want to make sure that you have a drop of solder bridging the middle pad and the pad on the left side for 5 volts. This will determine how much power is coming out the power wire to power the Minim OSD Micro. Now let's talk about the pin diagram on the Minim OSD Micro. So right now I have it oriented the same way it is on the screen. These are just servo connectors. They're just individual servo connectors, or you can use the 3-wire servo connectors like this. It doesn't matter. Now these pins, I know the abbreviations are different, but it's actually exactly the same. We have ground, then VCC is 5 volt. Then we have the TX, PX, and DTR. So basically, if we line this up with that diagram on the screen, they're exactly the same. It's just you need to flip this around this way. So with the Minim OSD Micro oriented the same way on the screen, I now have all these wires connected in the right order, but you have to flip this around backwards. If you plug these wires in the wrong order, it will fry. I'm telling you right now, it's going to fry, and I can show you how you know it's fried in just a second. Okay, now it's time to plug this into your computer. You can plug this right into a USB port. I have an extension, so I'll be using that. That way you guys can see the stuff I'm talking about. I'm assuming you already have the Arduino installed and ready to go, so we will now go into the Arduino. Take note that this green light is flickering. Now yours is probably flashing a little bit slower than this because I already have I've already used this before, but either way you should have some type of green light. If that green light is not on, then you probably wired it wrong and it probably fried. But that also depends. You could just have a different model. Just continue with the video and you'll know if it's not flashing anything. So what I will do first is go to Tools, and we need to set up the Arduino to be able to read the CP2102 breakout board. For boards, you want Arduino Pro or Pro Mini. Then for processor, you want Atmega 328, 5 volt, 16 megahertz. Then for port, this will completely depend on your computer. I have a few different devices plugged in right now. That's why I'm seeing 2 different COM ports. I can't tell you how to pick which COM port it's on. Just know that chances are it's not going to be the same number as me. Just for me, it's COM 3. And if you have multiple COM ports, then you may have to try a few different ones if you don't know how to find out which COM port that is. That would be a whole different video on its own. But if you only have one COM port, then great, it's that one. Then for programmer, you want the AVR ISP MK2. Now with all of that set, we will go to File, Examples, scroll down to EEPROM, and EEPROM Clear. You can now close this old window out, and if you haven't used Arduino before, whenever you press this check mark, that's just going to verify the code to make sure nothing is conflicting with one another and it's going to work. Now you don't have to verify this because I already know it. This right here works because we didn't write this, so there's no mistakes in it. The other button is upload, so click upload. It's going to compile sketch, and you get a little meter or progress meter over here, and then it's going to say done uploading. Now that green light should be a solid green light because there is no like blink LED sketch or anything on here. There's nothing in the memory. Now we just want to go to File, Open, and find, if it doesn't automatically come up with the MW OSD folder, then find it. It's going to be wherever you placed it in that download. So for example, I placed it in my MW OSD folder that I made, and then click this, then not the GUI but the MW OSD, and then the one you want is the file called MW_OSD. So click that. We'll close this old window out. Now we need to set everything up. So go to the config.h tab. Once again, a little tip, if you have not used Arduino before, anything with 2 of these slashes next to it is basically turning it off. And then if something does not have the slashes and it's highlighted in green, then that means it's turned on. Because we are using the micro version and not the Minim OSD, we will put 2 slashes here to turn that off, and then delete these 2, and now define turns green, meaning that's turned on. Also take note that a lot of these warn you to only pick one option, which means out of this list here, we can only have one. Right now the default is set to clean flight. So if you are using clean flight, then turn that on. If you're using Betaflight, then turn Betaflight on. And I do use Betaflight, so I'll turn clean flight off and turn Betaflight on. And that's pretty much all the changes that I'm going to make. Like I said, we can make more changes in the GUI, but those are just the basics. Make sure you have it set to if you're using clean flight or Betaflight, and the Minim OSD turned on right here, just the basic stuff. So once you're done, go ahead and click upload. Okay, fast forwarding, it's done uploading, and also if you look at this green light on the Minim OSD, it should be flickering very quickly. So now we can close the Arduino program out, and now we want to go into the wherever you downloaded those files. This time we want to go into the OSD GUI. Now I have a Windows computer. It's a 64-bit system, but if you click on 64 and then MW OSD GUI, it's not going to work. I don't know why. I don't have an explanation for that, so just try both of these and one of the 2 should work for you. Now to connect, we need to go to under COM settings, choose 115,200. Choose your COM port, which I know for me and my computer, I have mine on COM 3. Then it's going to say waiting on OSD, reading, and then you should get this. The first thing you want to do is choose what type of font you have. So this is the default font, but if you choose select, then you can do default is what we were seeing right now. You can make it larger or you can make the text bold. So just for example, let's just say I want bold. So I'll click that, open, click OK, and then upload. Then you will see uploading right here, and it's going to take a minute to get all the way up to 256. Okay, now it's done, and we see the bold font now. Now personally I like default, so I will be going back to default. Okay, next we want to make all of our setting changes, but I will say don't get too wrapped up in it because, like I said, all of these setting changes you can do through through the TX menu using the on-screen display on your multi-router, which I will show you in a separate video. You need to choose what type of format your camera uses. Some cameras are NTSC and some cameras are PAL. So go ahead and choose which one you use. I always enable ADC 5-volt reference. Okay, I've set mine up to how I want it. Once you are done, then come down here and click on write, and you will see it writing, and now it's done. And that's going to do it for this video, guys. You're now done. So like I said, look in the description below for the link to the next videos. The next one will be how to wire this into your flight controller and camera and video transmitter. And then I'll show you how to set everything up in Betaflight or CleanFlight. So thanks for watching. I will see you again soon.